Hi, I'm Jason Charles Hill and I'm a landscape and commercial photographer based out of Brisbane, Australia. So I've really always enjoyed photography and being creative. But before it came my full-time job, I was actually managing a store outside of Brisbane, 5 days a week, just on the grind, working for the man. And then on my weekends, I would get out and try and explore my local area and take photos. And that kind of pushed me to, grow my photography and try and level up my kind of education in photography and push me into where I am today. So I've been passionate about shooting aerial landscapes, I guess, for about 4 or 5 years now. I took it up as, trying to find unique and inspiring compositions that were a little bit different to what the regular sort of photographer would shoot. My main bodies at the moment are the A7R Mark III, and I travel with 3 of those. And yeah, they haven't skipped a beat. They basically, everything I need, resolution, the focusing, I know those cameras inside out and they've been able to allow me to capture, my whole portfolio for the last, 2-3 years now. When I go out and shoot, I definitely like to have an idea of what I'm going to shoot. And before I leave for a destination or before I plan a destination, I like to know where I'm going. Google Maps is like your best friend, in my opinion. And then another app called Windy. I like to know what the weather is. I like to know what the destination is, and have a vague idea of what I'm going to be walking into before I shoot, because that prepares me with what kind of gear I need. And then I'm always trying to inspire myself to look for unique compositions. That's something I'm really passionate about, is finding something different from the average. So whether I go to a destination that's a big, wide landscape, maybe I'll put the 100 to 400 on and try and change things up and shoot tight details. Or I'll do the complete opposite. If it's a mountain range that's really far away, maybe I might find something a little bit closer with my composition with a wider angle. So using atmospheric conditions of the weather, I like to shoot in adverse weather conditions. So like could be rain, snow, crazy winds, things that bring like a real unique kind of atmospheric vibe to each image. My go-to gear in my camera bag, the workhorse is the 24 to 70. I feel like that's your one lens you can pretty much rely on to shoot anything. The 70 to 200, 2.8. Also very sharp and reliable, good for low light, so early mornings, late afternoons. They're your go-tos. Shooting zoom lenses is definitely a necessity shooting out of a plane because it gives you the flexibility to find, different compositions, different focal lengths. One of the most interesting images I've captured recently. It's really hard to gain the perspective from the image, but that valley there is quite a unique U-shaped valley. I guess like all of Fiordland's valleys. We're flying in the air van out of Queenstown. We flew over into Fiordland, and as we were coming into that valley, the Lake Quill's quite a famous shot. It's very, very beautiful. We wanted to get a different perspective and shoot a lot lower. We had to bring the plane in quite low into the valley and then do a hard bank left turn before we ran into the sheer rock face that was going to be right in front of the plane. And as the wind came in, it kind of pushed the plane over even more, like way too far, but it created a much better shot. In the end. One thing I always say is take information or take some inspiration from the photographers that you look up to, but then pull that in and make it your own. Try and create something unique. When you go to a destination, have a look at that destination and try and shoot something that's a little bit different to what everyone else comes up with. There's always a pleasure in creating like a unique image that maybe someone else hasn't seen before or no one's really tried. So yeah, I think it's definitely, looking within and being creative and trying to be yourself through your images and not trying to replicate somebody else's work.